Hey guys, it's the Herobrine Slayer back with part 2 of What's Wrong with Their Faces. Let's start. First off, like every other update post, I would like to say thank you to all the people who have tried to help and given it my advice. It really makes me feel like I'm not alone in this and that you are all behind me, helping me get through this. Now, I want to explain what happened in chronological order. Don't care if I said that wrong. So I will tell you what happened after the night where I first saw this thing. After my sister came home, she panicked as I told her what happened. She, like me, gets scared extremely easily. I once walked in the house to find her with a wooden stick that used to lock the bathroom door in her hands, ready to attack. After I told her, naturally she wouldn't want to leave. She didn't want to leave the basement. We hid in the laundry room for about an hour until she was ready to leave. We thought about calling the cops, but I knew they wouldn't be able to find it. There was no chance it would be that easy, but my sister insisted that we call the cops, and told them that someone was in the house. They sent one officer, a short and somewhat lanky guy. He told me his name, but in a panicked state, I didn't hear it and I wasn't bothered to ask. He looked around the house and he found nothing out of the ordinary. No forced entry, no suspicious activity in the complex, nothing. Right when he was leaving, I bent down into my lawn. He bent down onto my lawn and picked something up. Is this yours? He asked. He handed me a key to my house. I looked at my sister. She looked confused. My mom had only made 3 copies of our house. I had one on a keychain hung up against the door. My sister pulled hers out of her pocket, and I knew my mom had hers as it was attached to the car keys. Almost instantaneously, a chill went down my spine. This thing had a key to my house. It had entry to my home. The following day, my mother came home, or so I thought. Me and my sister were gathering our things. We were both sleeping at a friend's house. I walked into the living room, where there was still no furniture, and called the flooring guys to come. It was perfect. The day I was leaving is the day our new floors are getting put in. I wouldn't have to deal with the, the stress. Oh, my dad. The stress on top of what happened already. I texted my friend to tell him that I'd be there soon when I heard the door open. I looked and saw a figure walking back towards me. Mom, I called out. Yes, honey, she replied. I was confused. She had called me the night before telling me she was staying for an extra 2 days. Why was she here? And then it struck me. What if that wasn't my mom? I thought about walking up to it and trying to see its face, but then what? That wouldn't do much good as I didn't know what it was capable of. I stood there, frozen. I had no idea what I was going to do. She kept walking backwards, dragging 2 bags something inside. Along with something inside. Along with her. Oh, once she turned the corner, she opened a cupboard that was hanging along the wall and started putting something inside. I was too afraid to talk to it, but I didn't want to take my eyes off it. I could hear my sister packing downstairs where she slept. I was surprised that she was able to go down there herself. And then I thought to myself, if it knew I saw it last night, why is it still here? Why is it still trying to deceive me? My mom emptied the bags and closed the cupboard. I sucked in some courage and attempted to talk to it. What are you doing? I asked rather quickly. Nothing, it replied. As I asked, I simultaneously texted my mom and asked her where she was. I was hoping she didn't take as long as usual to respond. I thought to myself, if that was my mom, what would I say? I want to act as normal as possible. I'm going to Taylor's in a bit. I might stay for dinner. That's nice, it replied. Now I knew for sure that it wasn't my mother. My mom would ask about 50 questions before and ask me to text her when I got there and when I got back. As I received a text message, it spoke again. Let's watch Deliver Us from Evil tonight. Me and my mom had this conversation the week before. She asked me if I wanted to go see it, and I said maybe. When I decided I wanted to go, I texted her and we left. It must have overheard the first conversation as soon as we hadn't already gone. I know you love scary movies. It was almost if it was trying to convince me that the woman standing in the hallway was my mother. It was learning about me, my mom, my whole family. Maybe, I said. That was a usual response for me. Okay, I'm going to Giant Tiger. It walked backwards to the front hall again, and off it went. My mom loved Giant Tiger. It was her favorite store. As she left, I read the message I had received. It was my mom. At Ruth's. Why? Ruth was my aunt, her sister. I was right. That thing was not my mother. I nervously called Alex upstairs and told her what happened. She didn't say anything. Her eyes widened. She ran downstairs, grabbed her things, and we were off. She dropped me off at Taylor's and looked at me dead in the eyes. Please be safe. Texted me the entire time. I smiled. Me and my sister have been siblings, but we never really got along. This made me realize how much she cared about me. I will. You too. Taylor had long brown hair that passed his forehead. He wore a hat, an orange sweater, and jeans. His hair was usually quite long, as he was too lazy to get a haircut all the time. He was quite the badass, and he had his right ear pierced and below the eyebrow piercing. It worked on him. I walked inside his house, and we immediately went to the basement and started playing Xbox. We played Call of Duty Zombies for hours. This really took my mind off things, but I still couldn't fully focus. I couldn't stop thinking about it, if I should tell him what happened or not. I decided against it as I just wanted to try and have a peaceful night. We played more video games. I had a few hot dogs and put on a movie. We were home alone, which worried me, but I had a best friend with me. I was fine. I was showing you my favorite part of the movie, in the movie The Faculty, where Asia Woods, Cassie, the Jordan Brewster, Delia, were hiding in the closet and witnessed one of their teachers being converted into an alien. I don't know how to phrase that correctly, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. The teacher had a slug shoved down her ear, and just like that, she was taken over. The alien controlled her. She was no longer who she used to be. How ironic, watching a movie so similar to what happened to me. Thinking someone is who who say they are, until you realize something much more sinister happened. As the scene progressed, I had a horrible feeling in my stomach, almost as if I could sense something was about to happen. Taylor got up and said he had to go to the bathroom. He's leaving me alone. I don't want to be alone. He got up and left. As he did, I got a text. It was my sister. I thought she was checking up on me. I was wrong. Please tell me you're outside Alicia's right now. Please. My body became numb. Whatever my sister was seeing was probably what I saw last night. Me? I'm at Taylor's. Are you sure it's me? Are the doors locked? Doors are locked, and it is just standing outside in a bush staring at me. But I can see your face, and it looks normal. She was responding instantaneously. I knew she was scared. I was too. Me? Is Alicia with you? Alex? Yeah, but she doesn't see it. It's smiling, and I'm fucking scared, Charlie. Charlie is my name, by the way, but that doesn't really matter. Why couldn't she see it? As soon as I read the text, Taylor came back downstairs. I hadn't heard a toilet flush or a sink turned on. Something was wrong. It was dark in the basement. We ran. And he looked different. His face seemed fine. The nose, eyes, everything was where it was supposed to be. I couldn't tell the difference. Then I saw Taylor's eyebrow and ear piercing were gone. It wasn't Taylor. It wasn't my friend. That thing was back, and it had followed me. It was harassing me and my sister. There was more than one, and they followed us. I didn't say anything. It walked towards me and sat down in the chair behind me. I got another text from Alex, and in the midst of realizing my person in front of me was not my friend, I noticed my phone had 5 missed calls. Someone tried to call you, it said. It was smiling, but the voice sounded calm. It looked at his teeth spreading from one end to the other. Oh, it's my sister. I'll be right back. I grabbed the phone and calmly walked upstairs. I could feel his eyes watching me as I walked away. 6 missed calls now. My sister. Something was terribly wrong. I locked myself in the bathroom and called her. I wasn't even worried about that thing in the basement. I knew my sister was in danger. Alex, what's wrong? Elisa isn't fucking home. She's in fucking Florida with her family. She just texted me. I couldn't believe it. Alexa was in the house alone with that thing for hours. Charlie, what the fuck do I do? I'm running down the street and I don't know where I am. Fuck. Knock on someone's door. Tell them it's an emergency. She was bawling her eyes out. I could sense the terror in her voice. No one's answering their doors. The street's fucking empty. I was panicking. My sister was in danger. I wasn't even thinking about my situation. I wasn't even saying anything to her. She just kept screaming for help, telling me there was no one there. How is that possible? How could no one hear her? Finally, I could hear Rolly from the voice. Okay, I found 3 guys on their parking lot. I told them there was someone had a gun and they were chasing me. They called the cops. Holy fuck, Alex, please stay with them and go inside. We stayed on the phone with each other until the cops arrived. She cried the entire time. She was safe, thank God. She told me she'd call after the cops questioned her about what happened. I hung up smiling. She was safe. She wasn't dead. She got out. That thought stayed in my head until I realized that I was still in danger. I hadn't even thought to tell her. I exited the bathroom and peeked out down the stairs. I could still see Taylor sitting in the chair, but I could only see his feet. I ran upstairs, I found his ear and eyebrow and piercings were there. This was my friend, not that thing downstairs. We need to get the fuck out of this house, I said quietly. Why? Why? Just fucking trust me. He smiled as if it were a game. He thankfully played along and followed me out the house without looking back. As we ran barefoot, I could tell something was wrong. I could tell that he became scared. We ran across the street till we got to a local McDonald's. We panted for a good minute until he asked me what was wrong. I didn't know if I should tell him. Would he believe me? My brain overflowed with questions. How many were there? How can anyone help me and my sister? How can I trust anyone? Some other shit went down, but this post has been quite long. I'll update more when I get a chance. Sorry if there are any mistakes or anything seems confusing. I may have left some things out. I wrote this in a hurry, so feel free to ask any questions. Until next time. Oh, this is really good. I read this before, but it's still really good. Hope you enjoyed, and the next part will be uploaded soon. Goodbye.